We've been going now for 3.5 years, and we've got this conversation going on, a big conversation right across the town, hopefully, around what does healthier mean to you as an individual resident of the town, and what does it mean for the town to be healthier. So what does that actually mean? And that is the conversation that we are encouraging the residents to get involved in, and also all of the people that work within the town to improve everybody's health and well-being. So that just isn't the doctors and nurses who are there to help you if you become ill. It is folks like teachers, because the higher our education attainment becomes, the healthier our lives will become, and the next generation becomes healthier. Teachers are really important in health. Housing, where we live, the environment we live in, the houses we live in, the streets that we're on are really important. So they're important people to feed into that conversation. Things like social care, things like transport, all of the sports clubs and dance clubs and all of those things are really important to keep us healthy in the town. And that's the conversation that we've started, and the most important people in that conversation are yourselves. And the thing that those of us that work in the town can do and should do is listen to you. And we now have a situation where we are all actively listening to what is important to you as residents of the town. And there is a real commitment to deliver on what you feel is important to you. And that's all generations of the town, from the youngest to the oldest. And we had a little bit of a get-together over at Dock Street last week, and trying to think, how can we encourage more people to get involved? And David quite rightly said about the power of storytelling, how storytelling inspires other people to get involved. What is emerging from listening to residents in the events that we've had appear to be 4 themes that seem to be really important to you. One is Lord Street, and what is happening to Lord Street, with more and more shops closing down. Probably the only thing you can get on Lord Street now is a haircut from a Turkish barber, and then really much else. So Lord Street is really important to people. The second is the intergenerational things, how the youngsters interact with older people in the town, and can we do more at an intergenerational level to improve the community spirit of the town? So something around intergenerational events seems to be coming through as a theme. The third theme is around pride in the town. Being proud of our community raises everybody's self-esteem and everybody's well-being. So how can we promote and be proud of all of the things that are going on in the town? And the fourth was around some sort of hub, some sort of physical space where things go on. And we've got the redevelopment of Fleetwood Hospital going on as a community space. So there is an opportunity there to influence what's going on. But also a virtual space. How do we get to know what's going on in the town? How do we know that there's a colour walk on Friday? How do we know about all the back alleys? How do I, as a resident, or you as a resident, how do you want to receive that information? Is it online? Is it on leaflets? Is it Food Weekly News? So those are the 4 themes. If there are more themes that you want to talk about, then air them, and we are there to listen to you. And where we're going now as a community is that the public services of the town, the main public services, so those services that are provided by the NHS, all your doctors, all your nurses, mental health workers, so there's the NHS public services in the town. There are the services that are provided by Wyre Council. Wyre Council are responsible for housing, they're responsible for the infrastructure and the roads and the bins and the environment. And Lancashire County Council, they are responsible for social care, and they're responsible for education, and they're responsible for some of the health and wellbeing services, particularly those relating to children. And those three agencies, the NHS, Lancashire County Council and Wyre Council, are saying we are confident that there is a real movement going on in Fleetwood across residents through Healthy Fleetwood and across all the people that provide public services in town. We are confident that we're getting to the stage where we are comfortable with delegating responsibility to residents and to frontline staff. And that's a real big commitment from the NHS, from LCC and from Wyre Council. But they want to know what are we committed to do? And it's all right being given control, but what are we going to do with that? And so we are keen to work on those 4 themes and put those 4 themes to those public service providers and say this is really what we want to get on with. Now you might say, well, all that's going to take some money. So where is that investment going to come from? Where is that cash going to come from? Healthier Fleetwood is in the process of becoming a charity or a charitable trust, and we've put the appropriate paperwork into the Charities Commission, and hopefully sometime in the near future we will become a registered charity. As a registered charity, we are then able to bid for fairly significant money. And we are right at the very early stages of putting a bid together to the lottery fund for whatever money it takes to deliver on those 4 key themes that you mentioned to us, and facilitate further conversations around are there other things that are really important to you. Because this isn't just a one-off for the summer of 2019. I'm hoping this is the future of how the community of Fleetwood develops, with the residents at the heart of that, and all of the publicly paid people being responsive to listening to what matters to you. So, if you want to help us shape, now what does intergenerational things mean? We've only got a term at the moment, we've only got a name for it, but we need people to help put some detail into that. You know, is it a series of events over the next 12 months that we do things? Is that what it is, and what are those events? What do they look like? Because we need to start putting some detail into this bid that we're going to put forward. We've got a little bit of time, there's no rush to do this. We've got sort of till October, November if we want, so we don't have to rush to get this down on paper next week. But it would be good if we can start putting the detail into what you want to go into that bid to the big lottery fund. And when it comes to Lord Street, you may have heard that Wyre Council have received fairly significant national funding to redevelop Lord Street. And quite rightly they are keen to hear your views, the community's views, the residents' views on what the redevelopment of Lord Street might look like. So they're going to come through with Healthy Fleetwood, they're going to come and listen to you specifically with Lord Street in mind. So please continue, and it's lovely, Carol, to hear you talk about what Healthy Fleetwood has managed to help you with, and you know, the trials and tribulations that you've had to go through. And it's great that sort of one person by one person by one person, we are becoming a much more active and much more caring and compassionate community. And on the very last note, this thing about compassion. Compassion to me means caring, compassion means understanding, and compassion means understanding other people's point of view and being very non-judgmental. And wouldn't it be great? Look, everybody says Fleetwood is a really friendly place, but wouldn't it be great if we were even more compassionate to each other than we are now? And so we are going to have an event, another event for your diaries, on Wednesday the 16th of October, again over at the Marine Hall. This is an event for any residents that want to come along. At the event will also be all of those other people who are paid by the public purse to support you. So all the doctors and nurses are going to be there, people from housing are going to be there, people from education are going to be there, hopefully head teachers and teachers are going to be there. Hopefully we'll get all age groups in the audience, even though it's a school day, maybe some of the children will be allowed to come along, I'm hoping. And the theme of the day is going to be around compassion, and what we really want to do by the end of that afternoon, it's going to be a real call to action, so that as folks come out of that get-together, you really want to change Fleetwood for the better for all of us. So it's going to be an afternoon that will inspire you. What it's not going to be is a conference where you'll just sit down and listen to people rabbit on stage. We're going to use the arts right throughout the afternoon, so primarily music and art, and I want to have a conversation with Left Coast about how we involve you in that day, and we've already talked about having a sample band there to really get people, so I'll talk to you about that. It will be an event by ticket only. Tickets will be free, but a little bit nearer the time, we'll be letting you know how you get your tickets for it from the Marine Hall, and please mention it to families, mention it to communities, because we can't go on that journey together as residents and professionals if it's only the professionals that are going on that journey on their own. So please, as you are doing, let's get some real energy behind this thing now. Thank you.
What time of day is that?
What time?
Yeah.
It's 1 till 5. So please, people start gathering about 12:30. We'll have a brass band playing at 12:30 to greet everybody. Some people that are confirmed to come are the Royal Liverpool Philharmonic Orchestra, and they'll be also be doing a piece there. Thank you.